Hello and welcome back to the DroneOCan YouTube channel. Man, it has been a long time since we've put out any new content. We visited the CPKC holiday train back in December and did a live stream of that event. And since then we've been under radio silence. Not really taking a break from YouTube intentionally, just a combination of having some sickness and work and a few other things that have kept us from making new content. So good to be back. Glad you stuck around to come see us and check us out. And thank you to all of our subscribers. You know we appreciate it. So I'm not exactly sure how much content we're going to get out of this video. We're down here in Wrentham, Alberta. We're just doing a short weekend getaway down to Lethbridge to visit family again. This was a trip that was supposed to take place and be a little bit longer over the Christmas break, but unfortunately, like I said, both Emily and I kind of got sick after our Florida trip and didn't make it happen. So we're doing it now. It's an abbreviated trip. We're just going for one night. So yes, we were in Florida over the Christmas break. Didn't record any video at all down there. It was more of a family trip than an exploration trip. We did see a few cool things, but nothing that I thought would make a compelling video. And so basically just decided to use that time to disconnect from the internet and spend the time with the family and not worry about making content. So that also contributed a lot to our lack of production lately. So down here, checking out the Wrentham grain elevators. Looks like there's a fair amount of work going on here. The elevators are surrounded by chain link fence, which is new from the last time we were here. Looks like there's some work going on the site, which is good to see. I know the Wrentham Grain Elevator Society recently got a grant not that long ago, so they must have some money for doing some improvements to things. And they've also been running a number of fundraisers, like drive-in movies being shown on the side of the elevator and things. So good on them. Of course, I am a member of the Ogilvie Wooden Grain Elevator Society. We're a small society that owned the grain elevator in Wrentham, Alberta. And you'll remember I did a video taking you on a tour of that grain elevator, a little bit over a year ago now. Always looking for new members or anyone who wants to make a donation. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in checking out the society. Basically, you know, we've got a grain elevator and we just are doing our best to try and preserve and maintain it so that it can be enjoyed by future generations. Emily is probably back at the car, so we're going to work our way over there now. And as always, if you haven't been to Wrentham before or you haven't been for a while, highly suggest you come check it out. Lots of great historical buildings in their downtown core here. They have the little schoolhouse museum / visitor center, which we've never managed to time on a day when they're open, but that's okay. Antique stores and, like I said, lots of great buildings from the early days of the 20th century here in Wrentham. All right, well, it is the second day here of our little weekend road trip. And I was going to say I'm standing at the steps of John Davidson School in Coaldale, Alberta, but there are no steps. But we are here in the interest of documenting things before they become history. And I recently learned on one of the Facebook groups, one of the Coaldale Facebook groups, is that this school is scheduled for demolition in the not too distant future. And so I thought it was important to come by and take a look at it, document it, and give you a little bit of background, because I actually used to go to this school back in the day, at least for grade 5 and 6. Now, the first thing I noticed, and I was not aware of, is that there used to be an actual older portion of the building. It was the original schoolhouse. It housed a couple different classrooms and things, and it used to be right in front of this more modern 1950s school. So I was not aware that that old portion of the school had been demolished since my last visit. So that's certainly one of the things that has changed since I last was by here. Another significant thing that has changed since my day is that this open area here to the left of this fence used to be where the playground was. And so, yeah, all the playground equipment, the swings, the monkey bars, the teeter-totters / seesaws, all of those were here, and it's now just an empty field. So this is where I actually remember in grade 6 spending the final recess. And that seemed like such a growing up moment, knowing that the next year we'd be going into grade 7 and junior high, and we would not get recess between classes anymore. So yeah, that was where that used to be. And what I learned from the plans online in the Facebook group is that the intent for this parcel of land is that this road here, which I believe is 19th Avenue, I can't remember now. Yeah, it would be. No, 21st Avenue, sorry. Going the wrong direction. They are actually going to be extending that road right through the field here and connecting it on the other side so that that road will now continue through. I know as the town expanded, it was always a bit of a bone of contention or a bit of a bottleneck in things, that if you wanted to continue down this road, which is a fairly significant road in connecting things, you always had to either go a block north or a block south to get around. But again, documenting things while they're still here, soon this will be, where I'm standing, will be a roadway. And this was the entrance that I used to use as a kid. Funny, I was here, I don't remember the exact years, but let's say 1982 to 1984. And even at that time, these doors were segregated into boys' entrances and girls' entrances. So as a boy, we were only allowed to use the door on the left, and the girls had to use the door on the right, and we had separate boot rooms inside. And I remember one time coming back in from recess, and there was a big bottleneck at the boys' door, so I decided to run in and go through the girls' boot room, and I actually got stopped by the principal and made to stand in the corner for violating such an egregious rule. And this wall, I don't know if anybody else, I'm sure this game exists if I were to look online, but we used to play a game here with like a tennis ball that was called Booty. And of course, Booty has a totally different meaning to people nowadays. But that was the name of the game that we used to play. And I don't remember the exact rules, but I remember it involved throwing the ball at the wall, and then you had to try and catch the ball before it bounced. And if you were able to catch it before it landed, then whoever had thrown the ball, like there was a group of us, and whoever caught it, whoever had thrown it, and somebody caught it before it bounced, whoever had thrown it had to try and run and touch the wall before the person who caught the ball beamed them as hard as they possibly could. And then there were other rules. If you tried to catch the ball and you dropped it or fumbled it, then you had to try and run to the wall before somebody else could pick the ball up and bean you with it. But being a typical game of that era, it really involved trying to hurt your classmate as much as possible. So we learned a lot of tough lessons on this wall. And it's funny, these tetherball poles, I don't know if these are still the same poles, but even back then, 40 years ago, these were tetherball poles. And it seems to me we used to have I thought we had a baseball diamond in one corner of this field, but I don't see that, but that could just be me misremembering things as well. You know, I'm getting old. And of course, seeing it here from the outside, this is the gymnasium. If I remember correctly, this end of the gym had a stage, I believe. We didn't do a lot of performances up on stage or anything, but that gymnasium was the site of one of my more embarrassing sporting moments, where I caught a basketball in the basketball game in gym class and was wide open and got all excited and took the shot and discovered I was shooting on my own basket. And none of this was here. This was all just a grassy area. This is obviously a much more modern playground since my time here. I'm not sure what else is going to happen to this land after the school is gone. I believe I read something about it, part of it being turned into a park or green space. And I don't remember for sure, but I think the classroom that's on the other side of these windows is where my grade 6 classroom was. And this line of trees here, I remember there used to be a massive hedge along this section, and that chain link fence, there was a little hole cut out of the fence, so if you knew exactly where you were going, you could duck through the hedge and through the fence and get to the little strip shopping mall there on the other side. So that hedge is long gone, but it always felt like a little secret exit from the schoolyard. Now here we are on the north side of the school. And it's funny, I don't ever remember anyone using these entrances, but they were here obviously. But yeah, we always came in on the other side of the school. Peeking in the window there, there's still some trays for boots on the one side. School must still be used currently. It's in rough shape, but there's shoes and everything in there. So, and does anyone remember these old boot scrapers where, you know, you'd clean your shoes off before heading into the school? It wasn't on this one, but at one of the other schools I remember attending, one of my classmates would basically kind of bend over one of these and then spin around on it upside down, and then one day flip down and really cut his head open badly on the scraper portion of things. So we were allowed to do stuff like that when we were kids and really hurt ourselves. I'm surprised. Quite the crack in the wall there. The old school bell. So yeah, that was really all I had for our video today. I mean, it was just, like I said, knowing that the school is scheduled to be demolished at some point, I thought it would be kind of fun to come by and take a walk around the old grounds and check it out. I'm really disappointed that this old portion of the school is already gone. That'll teach you, document things when you can, because you know, they'll disappear before you even have a chance to know that they're going away. So that's going to wrap it up short video. We didn't have a lot of time this weekend to do anything else, but just a little quick tour, a little insight into my past and my history. Hope you enjoyed it. Probably won't be any content for another month or so, as we're quite busy with work the next couple of weekends. But thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.